The New York State Workers' Compensation Medical Portal now includes a feature called the Medical Treatment Guideline MTG Lookup Tool. The MTG Lookup Tool gives you the ability to quickly and easily search an MTG by condition and quickly see whether a particular condition or treatment is recommended, not recommended, or conditional. This presentation will dive into details about the MTG Lookup Tool, where to find it, and how to use it. The Lookup Tool is one of several initiatives designed to further improve medical care for injured workers as the New York State Workers' Compensation Board strives to be better for workers and better for business. In December 2010, the New York State Workers' Compensation Board implemented legislatively mandated medical treatment guidelines that fundamentally changed the delivery of health care to injured workers. The initial New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines included 4 evidence-based guidelines for the treatment of injuries involving the neck, back, shoulder, and knee. These became the mandatory standard of care for dates of service on or after December 1, 2010. On March 1, 2013, the Carpal Tunnel Syndrome Medical Treatment Guidelines, updated versions of the then-existing New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines, including a new maintenance care program, were adopted. The Non-Acute Pain Medical Treatment Guidelines, as well as updated versions of the existing New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines, were implemented for dates of treatment on or after December 15, 2014. On May 20, 2020, the New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines for hip and groin injuries, foot and ankle injuries, elbow injuries, and occupational interstitial lung disease were adopted and will become effective with the implementation of onboard limited release. The New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines are available as PDFs that can be downloaded and printed from the board's website. To locate these PDFs, select Medical Treatment Guidelines, then select one of the links to download that Medical Treatment Guideline PDF. To build upon the availability of the downloadable guidelines, we're pleased to announce the MTG Lookup Tool. This feature is a convenient way to look up New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines and conditions or treatment. To start, you will need to sign into the medical portal. On the board's homepage, you can find the medical portal icon on the page. Select this icon. Enter your NY.gov assigned username and password. Select Sign In. You will then see different sections for medical providers, treatment, and billing. Under the Treatment section, select the MTG Lookup Tool. You are now using the MTG Lookup Tool. To begin, select the medical treatment guideline using the Guideline drop-down box. Next, you can begin typing in the condition in the Condition text box. As you type, suggestions will begin to show, making finding the intended conditions quick and simple. Select the condition when you find it. Once a condition is selected, you will be presented with a list of the medical treatment guideline treatments and/or tests associated with the selected condition. Under the Recommendation column, you will see that treatments and tests are listed as recommended, conditional, or not recommended. The specifics associated with each status are articulated in the medical treatment guidelines. You can also filter your results by typing part of the name of the desired treatment or test in the Treatment text box. Another filter option is to select a specific type of recommendation. When a specific type is selected, the treatment test list will show a list with only that selection as the recommendation. When there is a treatment or test that you'd like more information about, you can select directly on the hyperlinked treatment or test. This will direct you to the specific section in the New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines that covers this condition and treatment or test combination. When you select the condition and treatment test combination, a full New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines document will open and then bring you to the relevant section. From here, you will review the details of the selected condition and treatment or test combination, and you can scroll to view any or all portions of the MTG. To exit the New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines document, select the X on that tab in your browser window. After returning to the MTG Lookup Tool, additional searches can be done to find alternative conditions and/or treatments or tests. If you need documentation that the treatment a provider wants to provide is consistent with the New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines for a particular condition, you will use the Select button for that particular treatment or test. You will then be asked to perform a case search to associate the desired medical treatment guideline, condition, and treatment or test with a specific case. This is the same case search as used for the New York Workers' Compensation Drug Formulary prior authorization requests. The required information will be the WCB case number or claim admin claim number and two of the following four options: date of injury, last four digits of Social Security number, date of birth, or the last name. The system will then provide a summary of the entered case. Some of the information included will be the claimant name, WCB case number, employer, and insurer. Then you should read and accept the attestation. After agreeing to the attestation, you will be generating a PDF of the transaction. This PDF can then be printed or saved by the user. Then, a summary of the MTG Lookup Tool verification is presented. This includes the selected condition and treatment or test. You can download a copy of the full transaction. When submitting a provider's bill to the insurer, the board recommends that you also include a copy of the Medical Treatment Guidelines Verification Summary. Case specifics may vary, and the verification summary does not guarantee payment, but it does provide documentation that the treatment or test is consistent with the New York Workers' Compensation Medical Treatment Guidelines. To support the timely delivery of medical care consistent with the MTGs, the board has made the MTG Lookup Tool available to all board-authorized providers. For other stakeholders interested in utilizing the Lookup Tool, after logging into the board's medical portal and selecting MTG Lookup Tool on the treatment card, you will be given contact information for Reed Group to purchase a license for the tool. If you are an insurer that has previously licensed the Reed Group medical treatment guidelines in other states, you may be able to access the New York State MTGs via the Lookup Tool at no additional charge. Thank you for viewing this presentation. If you have any questions, you can email MTG Lookup Tool at wcb.ny.gov or call 800-781-2362. Lastly, the board sends email updates regarding things like the medical portal and the MTG Lookup Tool. To receive these updates, subscribe to WCB notifications at wcb.ny.gov/notify